Good day and welcome to yet another exciting episode of TRENDZ Travel. I'm your host for today, Uslondiwe Wagamtalane. We are kicking off our show with our continued explorations in Seychelles.
Still in the Seychelles, we make our first stop in Moy Island. Back in South Africa, we look at its very first gay choir. And then for all the foodies, here's a look at what the markets have to offer. And lastly, we stop in Downton Abbey for a lovely little celebration. Day 4 of our Seychelles trip begins at the crack of dawn, where we take some time to overlook the beautiful island of Mahi. The view from the hillside shows Victoria, the capital of Mahi, which also happens to be the smallest capital city in the world, and the bay. It is unbelievably breathtaking. In the city itself, there's a landmark clock tower in the middle of the crossing, modelled on that of the Vauxhall Clock Tower in London, England. Across the street is the small shopping mall for creative and interesting locally made arts and crafts, but it is down the street that most tourists come, to the busy Sir Selwyn Clarke Market in the centre of town. A visit to the busy and colourful market is the way to get a feel for the Seychellois and their way of life. Built in 1840 and renovated in 1999, it remains the bustling heart of the capital and definitely the best place to buy fresh fruits, fish, vegetables and spices. An attractive array of boutiques and shops selling a variety of souvenirs, including clothing and local works of art, further complement the lively atmosphere that is especially vibrant on Saturday mornings. Also in central town, we check out the Arul Mihu Navasakti Vinayagar temple, the only Hindu temple in the Seychelles. Built in 1992, the temple was named after Lord Vinayagar, the Hindu god of safety and prosperity. But it's too early to really do anything, and we are making our way down to the inner harbour, which lies east of the town. It is here at Port Victoria that we wait to embark on our journey to a reef safari. The waiting area of the Bay Area is filled with enthusiastic and eager tourists waiting to get on board our Mason's boat and to be taken out into open waters. The crew are getting the final touches for our excursion ready as we wait, and my guide and I chat about what to expect, and since all we're doing is waiting, it does seem the opportune time for a selfie. Then it is finally time to board. Roughly 20 minutes by slow boat is the St. Anne Marine National Park. The park comprises 6 islands off the northeast coast of Moy Island and is an important part of the natural and cultural heritage of the Seychellois people. The captain is confident it will be another gorgeous day on the islands as he steers us out into open waters. The islands are known as one of the prime tourist locations on the Indian Ocean. Today is a beautiful day, and today we're right here in the middle of the ocean aboard Mason's Travel Tours, and we're going to be doing the glass bottom boat and a bit of snorkeling, so follow us on that. But in the meantime, before then, we take the time to enjoy a little moment in the lifestyles of the rich and famous. People are all over the boat, some taking pictures, others admiring the beautiful view, and others, like me, just enjoying the sun. My cameraman tells me that I think I'm a movie star as I lounge in the sun, trying to catch a tan from the winter's harsh, pale skin. The views are just gorgeous, with all sorts of blues and turquoises as the sun hits the water just right. About 15 minutes into our journey, we stop, literally in the middle of nowhere, where we are met with a lone boat bobbling in the waters, almost as if abandoned, and this is where the fun starts. Hey Trenders, we're right here in the glass bottom boat as I said we would be. We're 2 meters underwater. Right here is the glass. We're going to see the fish from there, so stay tuned, it's going to be a lot of fun. A glass bottom boat is just as the name suggests, a boat with sections of glass or other suitable transparent material below the waterline, allowing passengers to observe the underwater environment from within the boat. The space is quite cramped and it is not recommended for people with a fear of confined spaces, but there are emergency life vests just overhead. The colourful underwater world attracts tourists from around the world who come to see the magnificent coral gardens, reef sharks and colourful tropical fish. It is a totally different world down here and is undoubtedly listed as a must-do.
Normally in the marine park, in the Seychelles general, there will be like around 800 species of fishes. But in the marine park, there will be like 250 different types of fishes. Normally the fish that we see in the glass bottom boat in the marine park are small ones like the sergeant majors, the butterfly fish, angel fish, platax, and lots more fishes.
After about 20 minutes of oohing and eyeing a tropical fish, we are once again back on our boat. But we are not done with these little critters, as we are handed bread and led to the edge of the boat to a literal feeding frenzy.
Here you go, guys. Mommy's feeding you. Mommy brought home the bacon. Bacon for the babies.
We are only allowed to feed the fish at the captain's go-ahead, and it's quite an experience. It's like just out of nowhere, hundreds if not thousands of fish make their way to the surface to nibble on bread being tossed at them, as if it's expected. While we do that, our captain explains that we are shortly going to anchor and get ready for the main event, snorkeling. It's not my first time doing this, but the thought of being let loose in open waters is a bit daunting, but extremely exciting. It's time to get my gear on and get my snorkel on. Flippers are mandatory. Then it's the goggles, because seawater burns eyes, and how else are we going to see all those beautiful fish? And lastly, the actual snorkel. This one freaks me out a bit because underwater you can hear yourself breathe, which actually takes your breath away. Not a good thing when you are trying to breathe, but here goes. The water is cold when it first touches you, but then it's magical and you are lost in another world. You can continue snorkeling or you can just enjoy the water. I did a bit of both. We're out there for about an hour and then it's time for an onboard lunch. Lunch is simple but delicious. We are entertained by the vocal stylings of our captain, playing his guitar and singing of his beloved Seychelles.
To the Seychelles, Isles of Paradise.
If after this we are taken back to the mainland, it would already be a worthwhile excursion. But it doesn't end here and the day is yet young. Our next stop is Moy Island. Since the 1970s, Moy has been a flora and fauna reserve, but it has a sort of Robinson Crusoe story to it. It was purchased in the 1970s by Brendan Grimshaw, a former newspaper editor who was the only inhabitant of the island until his death in 2012. Currently, the island is a national park and can be visited as part of organized trips. Apart from a wide variety of plant and bird life, the island is home to around 120 giant tortoises, the eldest of which is 81-year-old Desmond. There's also a magnificent lookout point, perfect for selfies or meditation if you are that way inclined. On our mini tour, we stop at a little church at the top of the island. It is small and humble, but has seen many years. It is here that you can find 4 graves. 2 graves which have been said to be those of pirates, although this cannot be confirmed, and that of Grimshaw's father. After 20 years of persistence, Grimshaw and his assistant La Fortune achieved their goal of making Moy Island a national park in its own right. It is a very small island, and 45 minutes takes you right around it, but totally worth the visit. Then it's back onto a little boat to get onto our big boat to take us back to Mahi. This ride is a lazy one, but once we're back, I'm grateful for the day and ready for the next adventure.
If you've just joined us, you've missed our great adventure in Seychelles, but we have lots more for you after the break. Welcome back. In this segment, we explore music in Egypt and in South Africa. We hope you do enjoy.
Members of South Africa's Mzansi Gay Choir, the first of its kind in Africa, rehearsed at their studio in Johannesburg. The choir was founded last year to stand up against violence and stigma towards the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community in the country. South Africa's constitution outlaws discrimination based on sexual orientation, and it is also the only country in Africa to legalize same-sex marriage, but activists say there's a lot of work to be done to change the perceptions of individuals and some groups.
The whole reason why Mzansi Gay Choir exists is like to act against everything that is against this, but not to to attack them physically, but vocally and inspirationally, so that, you know what, let us not fight about this. Let us just make peace. Let's be who we are. Be who you are, straight, gay, queer, be who you are, really. Be who you are and let us be who we are.
People are going to say things. People are always going to say things. So dealing with the stigma and everything like that, it's really up to you. It does get to you, but sometimes you just have to channel all of the love and the energy that you're surrounded by and that you have for yourself, and just forget everything else that everyone says.
The choir of 20 gay men recently marked their first anniversary with the performance of South Africa's Feather Awards, an annual ceremony organized to celebrate the LGBT community. Their set included Lady Gaga's Born This Way, an anthem for empowerment for the gay community worldwide. Speaking from the awards' pink carpet, members said the choir is a necessary voice of hope for LGBT people around the world.
Maybe we have made her blind, so she tries to cover up her pain and cut her woes away. Cover ghosts don't cry after the face is made, but there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful. Just the way you are. You don't have to change. The world could change. No scars to your beautiful. You're beautiful. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful. Just the way you are.
I'm on my way, I'm on my way. I will get there, step by step. I'm on my way, I'm on my way. I will get there, step by step. My past behind me, better days before me. I'm on my way to my destiny.
We formed this Antigay choir, found 20 voices that could come through and actually write to us music, write us out of our misery, write our problems that we share within communities, and also, write us to the future, sing us to a place of hope and getting to where we want to get to.
The concept for the choir came to life when award-winning South African musician and actress Kelly Khumalo made a nationwide call for gay male singers for a show.
I think they're going very far. I mean, they're the first gay choir to come out openly and be proud. So for me, I think they're taking it very far.
To have a powerful gay choir was very refreshing. And to have them perform with your legendary singers like Kelly Khumalo, and it's very well received.
Choir leaders say they want to see the choir travel across the continent, spreading the message of pride. African countries have some of the most prohibitive laws against homosexuality in the world. Same-sex relationships are a crime across much of the continent and can lead to imprisonment or the death penalty.
A Lebanese choir founded a decade ago has held its first ever concert in Cairo, part of a plan to expand its unique brand of Arabic acapella singing and present a new image of the Middle East. Acapella is the art of performing music without the use of instruments, with singers instead of using their voices to create evocative harmonies. Singing to a packed auditorium in the Cairo Opera House, the Fire Choir, established in 2003, brought together members of its established Lebanese chapters with its newest singers from the Egyptian capital.
ونحن هدفنا الرئيسي هي نشر التراث الغنائي الأكابيلا العربي بالبلدان العربية، يعني كلمة واحدة مثل سرطان جيد منروح وين ما كان ما يقدروا يوقفونا، وهذا الشيء بيبعدنا عن كل شيء اسمه شهر، بيطور موسيقتنا. بعدين منوصل الموسيقى العربية لأوروبا اللي مش واصل كفاية، حتى ما يفكرونا إرهابيين، هن ما شايفين إلا الذبح والحرب، ما عم بيشوفوا تراثنا موسيقتنا. فلازم يتطور الموسيقى حتى نقدر نقدمه للعالم ونقول أوروبا بحاجة لموسيقتنا.
The choir boasts a total of about 100 members from its original Tripoli chapter. Its Beirut branch formed last year and its most recently formed Cairo choir, all from different religious, social, political and financial backgrounds. While the West has seen many rising a cappella stars, the singing style is still somewhat new to the Middle East and altogether more challenging.
هي فكرة إنه اللغة مختلفة تماماً، في العالم أكابيلا بكذا لغة تانية، فالإنجليزي يمكن أسهل بكتير لأن مفيش الفاريشنز أو زي الربع تون أو الحتة الشرقي اللي إحنا بنقول عليها في اللغة العربية، فعشان كده ما كانش فترة طويلة قوي لحد دلوقتي في مصر تقريباً مفيش حد بيغني أكابيلا، فالصعوبة إن إحنا نغني زي أو مش زي الأجانب مش زي الإنجليزي يعني، بس إن إحنا نستخدم اللغة العربية بالتشكيل بتاعها بصعوبة اللغة كلها ونحولها لأغاني أكابيلا ب6 أصوات مختلفة. فالموضوع قد ايه معقد، يعني انت لو فكرتي في الموضوع قبل ما تعمليه هيبقى صعب قوي، بس احنا لحد دلوقتي احنا ناجحين جدا ان احنا نقدر نستخدم اغاني من التراث وحاجات موجوده بيعاد توزيعها لكورال الفيحاء.
In addition to touring far and wide throughout Europe and Middle East, the group's more experienced members train youth choirs in the north and south Lebanon.
ما بعرف بعد كم سنة حينجح هالشي، بس ماشيين فيها. نبني كورال العربي ممكن يضل اسمها الفيحاء، يكون بكل البلدان العربية بس مش شهر بالجمعة. الشغل المفروض يكون على طول مستمر. الفرق بيننا وبين الورد يوث كواير يكون انه احنا على طول مع مدار السنة عم نشتغل، نكون حاضرين وين ما كان نروح ونمثل فعلا بالمعنى الكلمة بلدان العربية من كل الشعوب العربية.
The choir's repertoire encompasses Latin, English, French and Armenian singing, as well as Arabic music from Lebanon, Syria, Egypt and Iraq.
Abu Dhabi opened its Louvre Museum in November, positioning itself as a city of cultural tourism with a display of hundreds of works it hopes will draw visitors from around the world. Surrounded by water from 3 sides, the Abu Dhabi Louvre houses 600 artworks it has acquired, alongside 300 works on loan from 13 leading French institutions in its 23 permanent galleries. The artists range from Paul Gauguin and Vincent van Gogh to Pablo Picasso and Cy Twombly. The entrance ticket to the museum is 60 dirhams, which is roughly $16.30, with all 5,000 tickets sold out for the opening day. The Abu Dhabi Museum, which was set up under a 2007 intergovernmental agreement between Paris and Abu Dhabi, has partnered with museums and cultural institutions in the Arab world who will lend 28 significant works. Having invested over $1 billion in the museum, Abu Dhabi is hoping culture will attract tourists. 2 more museums, Guggenheim Abu Dhabi and Zayed National Museum, are planned around the Louvre Abu Dhabi.
We're done. We got so many people come to Dubai and to Abu Dhabi, but some Europeans say that it's something strange not to have any cultural places to visit, because of course they are new countries. But I think having the Louvre now will help a lot the tourists.
the fact that you have so many different cultures, backgrounds together in the same vitrine and in the same room, mixed together, it shows an openness to the world in a time when there are people who like to be isolated, zealots, and live on their own. This museum gives the message that we are all, at the end of the day, the same human beings, and it breaks the boundaries that differentiate between people and races and religions and origins. It's an extraordinary message that is so needed, especially these days.
We have so much more for you after the break, so don't go anywhere. It wouldn't be Trends Travel without a segment for all the foodies.
The second edition of the Refugee Food Festival was recently held in various cities across Europe, providing diners with a chance to discover various food cultures and flavors prepared by refugees from parts of the world. In Switzerland, 5 restaurants in Geneva welcomed residents to a feast of Syrian, Eritrean, Sri Lankan, Tibetan and Nigerian cuisine.
I have two menus for the day. The other one was jollof rice and fried plantain with chicken. Then the second, it's for the vegetarian. It's called coconut rice with fried plantain, all mixed with vegetables.
Participating restaurants opened their kitchen to 80 refugee chefs of 29 different nationalities.
L'idée de la nourriture pour découvrir une culture, réunir les gens autour d'un plat, elle est excellente. Hein. Et c'est vrai que je pense que le concept est tout à fait porteur. La nourriture, le partage, c'est parfait.
Le premier objectif du festival, c'est aussi vraiment de la sensibilisation et de pouvoir montrer et prouver aux personnes qui viennent au restaurant que les personnes réfugiées sont comme vous et moi.
I was very excited. I saw a lot of crowd. I was like, wow.
Plans have been made to hold the food festival next year in cities in the US, Canada, Brazil and Australia.
Parisians celebrated the start of the Beaujolais Nouveau wine season, in keeping with French law that sees the release of young wine on the third Thursday in November. The world-renowned French wine is made uniquely of Gamay grapes picked only 2 months ago. The grapes are left to ferment for only around 4 days in steel vats after being pressed. The process gives wine its light color and fruity notes and is recommended to be served alongside light dishes such as plates of charcuterie or a soft cheese. There has been a drop in sales in wine over the past 15 years, but some restaurants and bars still follow the tradition of drinking the annual Beaujolais Nouveau.
Oh, it's very nice, very, very nice. This is the third time in this bar, and we were here last night, and they refused to serve us Beaujolais Nouveau, so we come back today. Because they were not allowed until after midnight. I was sleeping, so we come back at lunchtime.
And while the popularity has declined in France, Asian countries such as Japan have picked up on the tradition and now also celebrate the uncorking of this young wine.
Bonjour.
Mais voilà quoi, il est là, donc c'est important, ouais, on le goûte. Je dis pas qu'on va l'acheter tous les jours, mais au moins ce jour-là on va le faire, ouais. C'est important.
Violins and cellos shared the spotlight with spoons and spatulas in their first ever food opera concert in Paris. Michelin-starred chef Frédéric Anton whipped up dishes to the beat of a score composed by Thomas Roussel, who conducted a 20-piece orchestra. On the three-course menu at the Trianon Theatre were curry-laced crab caviar, scorpion fish with rhubarb, and montane petals with glazed souffle with caramel and cider.
Ben, la cuisine, alors déjà, bon, il y a eu aussi le côté chef d'orchestre, chef de cuisine, le piano qui est au centre, le piano de musique, mais le piano pour faire la cuisine. Donc déjà, on se retrouve dans des éléments qui sont similaires dans un premier temps. Donc ça, c'est vraiment intéressant de lier. Et puis je pense qu'on va se retrouver justement à la fois entre le plaisir de déguster, le plaisir d'écouter. Tous les sens vont être actifs et justement, on va peut-être avoir des nouvelles sensations.
Antonio Buono, whose signature scorpion fish made in France's finalist in the Young Chefs competition, joined Anton at the kitchen table. Percussionists were disguised as kitchen assistants, drumming up rhythms with whisks and mixing bowls.
Il y a des bruits, on coupe, on tape, on mélange, on fouette. Donc tous ces bruits-là, ils correspondent un petit peu aussi à la musique et la musique à la cuisine. Donc tout ça lié ensemble.
The concert hall was set up to fit small tables where dishes were served to 200 diners who won an online contest by mineral water producer San Pellegrino.
C'est un mélange en fait entre l'orchestre symphonique complètement traditionnel ou classique qui est très proche de la musique de film en fait. Par exemple, à des moments très magiques de la cuisine, au moment des fleurs ou au moment du dessert où il va se passer des choses vraiment magiques. J'utilise les mêmes instruments que dans Harry Potter parce que je sais que dans l'inconscient collectif, on a tous ces sonorités qui nous rappellent la magie en fait. Donc je joue un petit peu avec ces clichés qu'on a ou ces réflexes qu'on a sur la musique.
On allie juste la bonne cuisine avec la bonne musique. C'est une expérience, c'est assez nouveau, j'ai l'impression. Je ne sais pas si ça se fait beaucoup. Mais pour l'instant, on apprécie, on verra par la suite.
Et c'est tout à fait enrichissant comme concept de pouvoir goûter un plat avec exactement des goûts, des couleurs différents et entendre la musique en même temps, c'est magnifique.
A golden egg sits in a garden in chilly Paris, but it is 65 degrees Celsius inside. The solar egg sauna by Swedish artists Mac Bigert and Lars Bergstrom was originally installed in Kiruna in the Swedish Lapland, commissioned for a project that addressed the displacement of a community due to iron ore mining.
And this is what we've always been hoping for, that we could make an artwork that people actually interact with. And it's sort of absurd to see this naked people, or almost naked, sort of going into this egg. and are being closed in by this golden shape out in the landscape of snow. But here it's quite different. Here it's reflecting this season, where it's autumn. So this was also unexpected. Of course, there's all these leaves, and it kind of gives the egg another identity.
Last spring, residents of Kiruna could use the sauna, a Swedish tradition, to warm up in the Arctic climate and gather as debate raged on about their town's radical transformation. With a shell constructed with solar panels and stainless steel mirrors coated in titanium gold, and the interior in pine and aspen, the sauna can hold 8 people and is surprisingly efficient, heating up quickly with minimal use of wood. Gogh said the egg shape symbolized the hatching of new ideas, while the multifaceted mirrors were to reflect the surroundings and issues such as climate change and sustainable development. In June, the mobile sauna was broken down and reconstructed in Björk-Leiden near Norwegian border. The artwork's current stop is the Swedish Cultural Center in Paris, where it will be open to the public for the next 3 weeks.
Well, I'm Swedish, so for me it's a regular sauna inside, but a beautiful egg-shaped piece of art on the outside, so it's an interesting mix. But it's very, natural. It's the fire and the wood, and it reminds me, at least, a lot about nature itself.
Ah, c'est totalement atypique, ouais, mais c'est ça qui est rigolo aussi. Et puis c'est vrai que c'est à la fois étrange, beau de se retrouver dans ce cadre-là. Et ça fait vraiment un bon petit break. On a l'impression d'être confronté à une autre culture que nous, on n'a pas forcément en France.
And the idea with the mirrors, doing it like this, was trying to mirror all these questions. I mean, there are questions about the Arctic climate, but there are also questions about the mining and the movement of the city. So that's why it has the facets. In the beginning, we wanted to make one mirrored egg that would mirror its surrounding in one image, but that's not the correct image to give today, I think.
Fans of a popular British drama Downton Abbey will have the chance to experience the elegant life at the Highclere House when Downton Abbey the exhibition opens in New York. The immersive, interactive 3-floor exhibition features full-set recreation of several rooms in the castle, including the kitchen, the servants' area, the dining room, and Lady Mary's bedroom. Sophie McShearer, who played Daisy on the show, and Leslie Nichol, who played house cook Mrs. Patmore, walked through the exhibition.
You really do feel like you're just thrown into the house. It's amazing. It's a recreation of loads of the sets that we filmed on Downton and over 50 of the original costumes. It's such a beautiful exhibition. We got a bit teary.
The music sounds us a bit silly, yes.
Yeah.
Very emotional.
It's really nostalgic for us, and it's so, the details are so perfect.
The proper designer's been here, hasn't he? He's really been on it, doing it properly.
Yeah, so it's just got that Downton feeling as soon as you walk in.
Actual items used in the television series are on display, including the full Sheena set used in the Crawley's glamorous dining room and the bellboard from the Sevens dining room. Also, more than 50 costumes worn in the show are on display alongside 26 hats and 4 wedding gowns.
it's really, it hits you. It's nostalgic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of emotional because it's just so, we haven't filmed for 2 years, so to be back on our set, and this is our set, this is very much mine and Leslie's set.
We spent hours in it.
Because nobody does scenes in here except us, do they, in the kitchen?
No.
It was, we spent weeks in there, so it's really nice to be back on the set.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
They can go and visit Highclere Castle because it's a proper house in England, but they can't visit this because this was a set in West London in a film studio. But now they can because here it is.
Yeah.
And of course it doesn't exist in England anymore, unlike the house. And yeah, this is like seeing the real thing. Two years down the line, there are still people very affectionate towards it still. It's nice. It's really nice.
I don't know, because I always say we have to keep it in the realms of actual history, don't we? Because I wanted her to go off and be Prime Minister. Yeah. But she had very high hopes politically when we left her.
Well, considering where she started from, that's a big leap, isn't it?
She's doing really well.
Yeah.
I loved that journey of how she started, because I started all sort of wide-eyed and frightened.
A little thing in a fireplace.
Yeah, and very grubby. I had all dirt everywhere doing the fires, and by the end
you didn't look that bright, really,
no,
did you?
she was very, I was really dopey. I don't know what, I definitely got a little education along the way.
Yeah.
Videos and other historic displays will detail for visitors the fine points of British society and culture. Downton Abbey, the exhibition, debuts in New York City this week for a limited run. It will then travel to several other US cities.
The international exhibition Van Gogh Alive has opened its doors in Athens, where organizers say they want to break the barriers of traditional way of viewing art. In a large dark chamber, visitors are surrounded by more than 3,000 images from the artworks of Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh, which are projected onto giant screens, walls, floors and columns, accompanied by music. According to the exhibition's website, multi-channel motion graphics, cinema-quality sound and up to 40 high-definition projectors were used to create the exhibition. Organizers say they want to dispel the preconceived ideas of visiting museum exhibits where one is tiptoeing through silent art galleries to view masterpieces from afar. Objects in the images have been brought to life through moving video. As visitors view images from Van Gogh's Wheat Field with Crows, the black crows suddenly take flight. Visitors stand in the middle of a larger-than-life image of his bedroom in Arles, or under the stars in an image of his starry night over the Rhone.
So, we want people to feel like they're inside Van Gogh's head. They have Van Gogh's feelings. We want them to...
Yanis Mustakas, Assistant Managing Director of Louvre Limited, the Greek promotional company behind the exhibition, said the idea is for visitors to be surrounded by their art and share Van Gogh's thoughts and feelings as he was painting and to go inside his head. The travelling exhibition is taking place at the Athens Concert Hall and is organised by Grand Exhibitions, having already been on display in several countries including Germany, Italy and Russia.
And the story around you goes on with you walking through the story and inside the story.
Έχεις πάρει έτσι μια ιδέα, αυτό είναι μια άλλη οπτική, μια άλλη διάσταση που σε βοηθάει έτσι να το δεις και διαφορετικά και να ονειρευτείς μαζί με τον ζωγράφο, να ζήσεις και εσύ κάτι άλλο, ίσως και να μπεις και λίγο στο πνεύμα του, στον παραλογισμό του, έτσι όπως το παρουσιάζουν.
Πολύ ωραία, το όνομά σας.
Μπαίνουμε μέσα στο μυαλό του, είναι σαν να μπαίνω μέσα στο μυαλό του. Με σκαλίτσα.
The long-awaited Museum of the Bible, boasting thousands of biblical texts and artifacts, is set to be opened just a few blocks from the US Capitol. From fragments of Dead Sea Scrolls and cuneiform tablets to high-tech exhibits and a biblical garden, the museum's creators hope everyone will feel welcome. Hobby Lobby's Steve Green, the museum's chairman and founder, acknowledged that many would suspect the museum of having political aims given its proximity to the Congress. Hobby Lobby and the Green family drew headlines in 2014 when the Supreme Court ruled that the Oklahoma-based craft store chain and Conegosta wood specialist of Pennsylvania could refuse to cover contraceptives in their employees' health insurance due to religious beliefs of their owners.
Museum is for all. When we say our mission statement is to invite all people to engage with the Bible, it is for all. Even if you're an atheist, we want you to feel comfortable coming in here, realizing that we're not pushing our agenda, our faith. We just want you to learn about this book and be inspired to open it up and read it when you leave.
Earlier this year, the Bible Museum ran into controversy when Hobby Lobby agreed to forfeit thousands of illegally smuggled ancient Middle Eastern artifacts.
I think that many would argue that is why we're here. We're here because our survey showed we would be best attended in this city, which makes sense because that's where the heart of museums in our country is. But the fact that we're just down the street from Congress doesn't hurt either. I have no problem with congressmen and women coming in here. They ought to know the foundation of our nation. It is built on a biblical concept, and so there's no sign that says no congressman allowed, no congressman allowed. It is for all, whether they're in government or business or whatever their profession is. We want to invite all people to come and learn about the Bible.
The forfeiture included some 5,500 artifacts purchased by Hobby Lobby Inc. that originated from the region of modern-day Iraq and were shipped under false labels, as well as an additional $3 million to settle the civil charges according to the Department of Justice.
It is something that you can see in everyday life. For example, in music, we have things from Coolio to Coldplay to heavy metal, and things that people wouldn't even know. We have fashion. We have pieces by Dolce & Gabbana. So things that people are really interested by and are not really aware of, that the Bible has this profound and beautiful impact.
Privately held Hobby Lobby said it was new to the world of antiquities when it began acquiring historical items in 2009 and made mistakes in relying on dealers and shippers who did not understand the correct way to document and ship them. Some scholars believe forgeries could still be among the Bible Museum's current collection. museum patrons were given a sneak peek of the $500 million construction.
Well, we are engaging leading scholars ourselves, and they're doing research. If there's something that's not what it claims to be, we want to know about it, and we'll share if we find that out. But we're using the best technology, new technology that is being developed to try to learn as much as we can from the items that we have, and we will share with whatever we find with the public as we find it out.
It really brings the Bible to life and gives you an opportunity to see things from other places around the world. Like the Vatican section was really fabulous.
It was great to find out that they were actually working on this museum. I mean, it surprised me that right in the middle of DC they'd be building it, and I thought, well, that's got to be really expensive, and it is. So we were happy to try to help a little bit with getting it started, but it's even better than I thought it was going to be.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for you on this week's episode of TRENDZ Travel. Join us again next week, same time, same place. From the very hardworking TRENDZ Travel team, see you next time.